first of all, I want to start off by saying what a wonderful book. It's unputdownable. I thought I would just speed read through it so that I can do this interview, but I could not skip one word.
Oh, no,
it's so inspiring. In fact, when Raju used to interview you and you used to tell us these stories, I mean, I was thinking at that time itself कि किसी को लिखना चाहिए ये. I'm so glad that now it's there in print forever. And Vidhu Vinod Chopra is somebody who, I mean, he has the rare ability of having such great stories and also having the talent to tell them in such a way that they sound even more fabulous. Right. So I hope there's an audio version also somewhere, or at least in the work, where as a podcast or an Audible series or something like that. My first question to you.
After Abhijat is done with his scripting, I think we should do that. It's be great. Because there are so many stories, Suresh, that are left out.
Really?
Oh my God. Now, अभी क्या होता है कि मैं कहता हूँ अरे वो नहीं है बुक में. तो ये immediately कि हाँ सर unscripted 2 में करें. भूल मतलब बहुत कुछ हुआ ही नहीं ना. Because see, the interesting thing that you probably don't know and you should know, that we never thought this book will be a book. This chat, Abhijat and me have had 4 or 5 years back, Abhijat? How many years back?
No, actually, I looked at it. It was 7 years ago that we had these series of interviews. Like we chatted on the phone and transcribed it. So 7 years ago we started, but then it continued. So we continued talking, I think, till 2017, 16 or 17 at various intervals. And then Nasreen Munni Kabir actually saw the material. And she gave it, this kind of a form, which is what makes it now readable. My job was only to take Vinod back to the stories that he had recounted. The way he had shared them with me. So from 26 years ago, most of these stories, which are my favorite stories, that 26 years ago I'd heard them for the first time, and they had lingered in my head. So I thought that if I remember them so vividly, they must have a value. And it should be fascinating for others. But without Nasreen, it wouldn't have gotten the shape that it has now.
These papers were just lying in our closet. So when I said Nasreen, she did the, she came in our life to do the Shikara subtitles. And once that was done, then I said, Nasreen, look at this. So she said, oh my God, this has to be a book. I said, make it a book. So, really she made it into a book.
Okay. Vinod Chopra ji, your professional life has been about, like walking a tightrope of making a film that appeals to a wide audience, but at the same time, as you say, or you keep saying, not sell your soul and still make something you believe in, be it Parinda, 1942, a love story, or Mission Kashmir, or even Shikara. Yeah. Would you consider that your one big struggle or dilemma that you've been dealing with all your professional life as a director and as a producer?
No, it's not a dilemma or a struggle. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be able to say to yourself that I will make this film only if it makes me happy. I mean, can you imagine we still don't have the third Munna Bhai?
Yes.
Because the film will make 500 crores to 1,000 crores. But because Abhijat and me and Raju are not happy with the script we have, we are working on it. Hopefully it'll come out next year. But till we are happy with the script, we are not going to make it.
Right.
But now, what that makes us in the eyes of the studio is we are dumbasses.
Right.
Because why are we not making this money to, make another 1,000 crores? But in our eyes, we are happy people. We won't do it till we are happy or till we feel that our third Munna Bhai will be as good, if not better than the second.
Right. Abhijat has talked about this phrase, dolphin moments.
Yes.
And he invented a phrase called the whale moment. And he described his whale moment, and which was a very touching incident. Vinodji, what in your life has been a whale moment, which you can tell us?
Too many. Frankly, just too many. It's crazy, when I look at my life, it's like too many. I don't think I can think of one moment. Like the whale moment that Abhijat Joshi talks about is also a whale moment for me.
Okay.
When I read that email that he had preserved, I saw that email in the book actually when I saw the book. That was a whale moment for me because he wrote a great line. He said, my father could not believe that he was holding a 1 crore. check, and your father would not believe that his son can give this check.
Correct.
And that's a whale moment. It is a whale moment, because, I mean, our fathers are, his father is honest, my father was very honest. So for these honest people to think that my son has honestly given a check of 1 crore, मतलब यार मेरा बाप हमेशा मुझे सुबह बोलते थे, पाया जी हम बोलते थे उनको पंजाबी में, वो खोलते थे पैसे कम हो गए, यार विद्दू 2 रुपए कितने में खर्चे, फिर उनको भूल जाता था, फिर मैं याद दिलाता, वो मोची, हाँ 2 रुपए मोची मिल गए, वो हिसाब लिखता था 2-2 रुपए का अपने पर्स में रखता। अब उस बाप को कैसा ये ख्याल आएगा कि मैं इस गधे को 1 करोड़ रुपए का चेक दे दूंगा, अब आज से 50 साल पता नहीं कितने साल, तो वेल मोमेंट ही हो गया ना यार।
I remember my first Vinod Chopra film was Parinda. I was in the 10th or बहुत मुश्किल से मैंने फिल्म देखी थी, because it was either adults or UA. Abhijat, I want to ask you, which was your first Vidhu Vinod Chopra film, and what were your thoughts after watching it?
I saw Khamosh, and I loved it. I really loved it, and it was one of those films which made me actually sit up and take notice of direction and writing and things like that, the finer things in cinema. So and it was so different from everything that I'd seen before. And then Parinda. So Parinda, just like everyone else, I'm a big fan of Parinda. And then I had the opportunity to meet him when he saw my play. So, and because of Parinda, I knew of his temper. Okay. So I was 26 and I met him, and I couldn't believe how kind he was to me. He was just extraordinarily kind. I'll quickly tell you how kind he was. There's one episode which is now of late, it's not in the book, but it's become kind of our favorite. That in the early days when I was writing, I would forget to switch off the geyser. So when he started writing, he would go to wash his hands and he would say, "Arey, geyser on hai." And once or twice he told me.
And we lived in a 1-bedroom hall then. It was just a 1-bedroom.
Yeah. So he would realize that, oh, I'd forgotten to switch off the geyser. He warned me a couple of times, and I would kick myself. Oh my God. So every day he would go in to wash his hands. I would remember, oh my God, I've forgotten to switch off the geyser. And I would hear the sound, tuck, that switch would go. But he would come out and not tell me. So which was very, this thing that I heard of his temper and all that. But he wouldn't utter a word. Then I was determined that now I'll not forget. And one day I managed that I did switch off the geyser. That day we went in. He came out and he said कि यार तू वो गीजर जरा बंद करता जा, तेरे से खुला रह जाता है. तो I said, sir, मैंने बंद किया. तो he said, हाँ मुझे पता है, तो इसलिए मेरे को पता चला ये तू कर सकता है, इसलिए आज बता रहा हूँ. मुझे लगता है तू कर ही नहीं सकता. तू कर ही नहीं सकता तो मैं बता नहीं रहा था. तू कर सकता है.
Now, I don't remember the story, but now he remembers everything. So it's kind of come back to me.
Talking about Parinda, you've spoken about getting R.D. Burman to conduct the music for 1942, but you've never spoken about roping in R.D. Burman for Parinda.
Khamosh was a film that was very liked by many, including R.D. Burman. I mean, they thought I was some kind of a genius filmmaker. Okay. So it wasn't difficult. It was easy because he saw Khamosh. Oh, okay. Anil Kapoor saw Khamosh and said, "I'll work with you." Okay. Jackie saw Khamosh became like a movie that people saw and said, "Oh, who's this director?" So it wasn't that difficult.
Okay.
Actually, it was far more difficult to retain him to do music for 1942, A Love Story, as you know, than for Parinda. Parinda was absolutely easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what was your last memory of meeting R.D. Burman?
Just the day, I met him in the evening when he told me I'm going out here and there. He was going to somebody's house. And in the morning at 6 o'clock, my phone rang and his guy Sodam, who took care of me, was weeping. And I just said, why? And he just said, R.D. is no more. So I went to his house very early in the morning, 6:37. I don't remember exact time, but it was completely crazy for me. I just couldn't believe he was gone.
Okay.
Yeah. just the evening before I had met him. I used to meet him very often those days because 1942 was releasing. So
right. There's a beautiful story about how you got Kumar Sanu to sing Kuch Na Kaho again. Is there a story behind the Lata Mangeshkar version of Kuch Na Kaho as well?
See, Lata Mangeshkar, R.D. Burman was no more when she sang.
Okay.
So it was absolutely crazy because I was directing Lata Mangeshkar and how am I going to direct her? R.D. was no more and she did it out of respect for R.D.
Okay.
Which was very kind of her. R.D. was not there for that recording.
Okay.
And I missed him a lot. He wasn't there.
Okay. Now, Abhijat, which is your favorite, wildest story of Ovidu Vinod Chopra? I mean, the National Award story is something that I can repeatedly hear. It's so fabulous. But which is your personal favorite?
My personal favorite is that very National Award story, along with the whole Oscar story. Those two are the pillars. That's when I started really being fascinated by these stories. Now, these stories he has narrated not as this is what happened to me in my life. These came out in the context of the scripts that we are working on. So he would probably be talking about someone who is innocent, who is not very gullible, vulnerable, a simpleton, and he is going somewhere. And in that context, he would tell me about his journey to the Oscars. So it was not कि मेरी कहानी सुनो. It was about ये कैसे होता है लोगों के साथ. तो मेरे साथ ये हुआ था. But they were so stunning. So if I were to pick just two, those two will be the pillars, the National Award. And we should hear at least one from him.
Yes. No, let people read it in the book.
Let them get a glimpse of
it. By the way, Abhijat, I didn't get to talk to you. I spoke to Mr. L.K. Advani yesterday. Oh. And he was so moved. And he said something to me which is like a whale moment. He said, people don't remember. I said, sir, I remember everything. You gave me 4,000 rupees, bloody, 36 years, 40 years back. And he says, Anda parantha khilaya tha. I was very touched. Dada.
Wow.
So it was a very moving phone call. So yesterday I had a dolphin moment.
Okay. So you want to just recount that National Award moment once again?
Yeah, actually, let me briefly recount. I've done it often. But the bottom line of that is that when you have no money, then an award, you don't look at an award. You only look at paise kitne milenge. It's like when I got nominated for an Oscar, the first thing my father asked me, कि अच्छा पैसे कितने हैं इसमें? मैंने कहा पैसे नहीं है तो मैंने कहा फिर क्या फायदा इसका? Because that's the thing, no? So we were promised 4,000 rupees. It was a cash award. So I went to Vigyan Bhavan and Sanjeeva Reddy, the president, put that red thing in my gale mein dala aur ye sab. L.K. Advani was the IMB minister. So he gave me the envelope. तो मैंने झट से ना वो envelope देखा बहुत पतला था. That is what I remember that clearly.
Okay.
So I held the envelope and I said, यार 4,000 rupees तो उन दिनों 100 रुपए के नोट थे, मोटा होना चाहिए envelope. तो मैं घबरा गया. तो I just opened the envelope and out came a postal bond, very neat postal bond, 4,000 encashable after 7 years. I can never forget that. And I just stood there. I said, sir, this is not cash award. This is so Mr. Advani said, no, it's okay. It's 4,000. No, but it's encashable after 7 years. So now I started talking to him. He said, पर आपको मिल जाएंगे. मैंने कहा, नहीं sir, you promised 4,000 rupees. And while this was happening, the president got involved. Because there were 3 of us on stage. And he spoke less Hindi, so he spoke in English. He said, is there a problem, young man? I said, yes, sir. See, they promised me cash reward. And this is not cash. This is postal order. And cashable. तो अडवाणी जी ने कहा आप चलिए आप कल शास्त्री भवन आ जाइए आपको पैसे मिल जाएंगे. I said, sir, आप दे देंगे पैसे ये तो नहीं आपको मिल जाएंगे. I looked at the president. I said, sir, there is just you, me and him. If he doesn't give me, because he was very angry that I was live broadcast on Doordarshan. I said, if he doesn't give me, you're my only witness. Can I call you? He said, yeah. He's a good man. He will give you if he doesn't call me. Anyway, I went next day to Shastri Bhavan. Big office, big table, minister screams at me. ये मैं भारत का भविष्य देख रहा हूँ. And I didn't know what he's saying. He says, नेशनल ये राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार के विजेता 4,000 रुपए के लिए राष्ट्रपति के सामने विज्ञान. बहुत बहुत गुस्से में. लगाइए पिताजी का फोन, मैं उनसे पूछना चाहता हूँ कि ये भारत का भविष्य है. उठाया मैंने फोन, कहाँ है पिताजी? कश्मीर में. तो उठा लिया, घुमा रहा हूँ. While I was dialing, I looked at him and I just said कि आपने नाश्ता किया है? He looked at me, क्यों? 11 बज गए, क्यों? मैंने कहा मैंने नहीं किया. Again he said क्यों? मैंने कहा मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है. said कि मेरे पास पैसे नहीं खाने के लिए, तो आप मुझे भाषण मत दीजिए, मेरे पैसे दीजिए. अरे I have never seen I mean that moment I remember again, it's a dolphin moment. He just looked at me and said क्या खाएंगे आप? अंडा पराठा. जी. Picked up the phone, ordered breakfast for me, gave me breakfast, and then did something on that thing, on that postal order. I went to that Gold Khana in Delhi, the round one. और वहां से मुझे 4,000 रुपए मिले, which was my first income of my life. So how can I forget that? Right. That was the first time I earned money in a way like that, 4,000 rupees. Because that was my diploma film for which I won the award.
And that bond with Mr. L.K. Advani still continues.
Yes, at Shikara, he was the first guy to see the film. Like I said, I talked to him yesterday. Pratibha called me, I called them, and it was very touching because he said not many people remember this. So for me, I can never ever forget. I can never ever, even when my relationships break, which break all the time, I always think of the good thing that guy did. So, but here I don't have, he really looked after me. Oh. I mean, he was the one, as you know, who sent me to the Oscars. Correct. That, of course, you should read in the book.
Yes, I saw that, yeah.
But it was him. He made it possible.
Okay. Now, I want to hear from both of you about the idea of the scripting of Lage Raho Munna Bhai. How did you react to first Rajkumar Hirani bringing up the whole idea of getting back Gandhi? Did you think that it was totally out of the box, or did you feel that, yes, this is something believable and this is something that we can do in a mainstream Hindi film?
These were actually two different films that became one, but let Abhijat tell you that story. These were two different. There was one script in which a guy went into a coma and woke up, and he went into a coma during the Quit India movement, so he woke up and he didn't know where he was. This was one movie. And then there was another movie of Munna Bhai. And then, of course, Abhijat will tell you how they combined it.
So, Raju had done almost 6 or 8 months of work already by the time I heard the idea. And I was stunned that he was thinking of Munna Bhai and Gandhiji. So, the ambition and the vision of the project stirred me. And I had never worked with Raju till then. So, I said, I really desperately want to work on this one. And he gave me a shot at it. And at that time, Gandhiji was a ghost. He was meeting Munna as a ghost. So my contribution to it was that I felt that it should not be a ghost, because that would be saying that we still need him to come back and guide us. His ideas are already there. So I requested that could it be that he's hallucinating, because he has read up so much on Gandhiji that he starts hallucinating. So he's actually dealing with his ideas and not with the ghost. And Raju really liked that idea, and he said that, okay, let's try this. And then for the next year, we were just doing everything in our power to try and make it work. It was the toughest screenplay of my life, probably. So.
But I have to tell you that Abhijat read so much of Gandhi that he started hallucinating. So I'm sure it came from his own life.
Yeah, at that time, there was a 10,000-page diary of Mahadev Desai, which I
read every page.
So I read every page.
And that is what the script writers today, if they read this, that is how Lage Raho was written. By this man reading 10,000 pages of the diary, each word, till he started hallucinating and said, oh, the main character can hallucinate. I'm sure of that.
And that line, Bande mein tha dam, Vande Mataram, Was that a Swanand Kirkire creation, or was that something that was?
No, that line is completely crazy. See, I remember. See, these are all dolphin moments. In my small room, there was Shantanu, Swanand, Raju, me. Abhijat, were you there?
No.
So 4 of us were making music, and in my head it was Ahimsa Parmo Dharm Vande Mataram. So वही था अहिंसा परमो. And Raju kept saying, "Sir, ये अहिंसा परमो धर्म बहुत heavy है sir, बहुत heavy है sir." तो इसे क्या कहता सर, वो एक था गाना जैसा होता, बंदा कमाल है, कुछ ऐसा होना चाहिए. What I normally do when I get too flustered, I immediately go to the bathroom. I wash my face. I'm alone by myself. I spend a minute or two thinking. So when I said that, I went to the loo and I spent 5 minutes. And as I was coming out of the loo, I came and I said, I think we got it. तो क्या मैंने कहा बंदे में था दम. तो बंदे में था दम came from Raju saying बंदा कमाल था.
Okay.
So it just, see, creation happens in a way that you really don't know where Shantanu, what he did, what Swanand did. See how we work. Abhijat has just said in this interview, oh, I requested Raju. Nobody is requesting anybody. We are screaming and shouting and saying, no, this doesn't work. And this one. Our work is not like, may I request you? No, we say, yaar, ye bakwas hai, ye chalta hi nahi. So we fight. We really fight like kids to create what we believe is our best work.
Okay.
And I think that's the only way to do it.
Talk about Broken Horses. In the book, you said that you wish you had made a better film.
Yes.
Do you think things would have been different if you had stayed with the original idea of setting it in New York?
No, you see, I had Nicolas Cage and Jeremy Renner in that movie.
Oh, really?
They were both committed to the film.
Okay.
And then I had to come to India because there was a financial issue. I came to India and I lost their dates. And I could have waited a few months to have them back. But I was too brash and I said, to hell with it. Okay, to hell with it. I think it would have been a better film with both of them. And also what would happen that I went into it in a hurry because I felt कि यार अब पैसे आ गए बना डालो. One thing I learned from Broken Horses is that though listen, I have to tell you there are some people who have really loved the film and they don't agree with me that it's not a good film. And I mean, there is James Cameron who called it amazing. There is Hrithik Roshan here who tweeted and actually called me कि इतने लोगों को मैंने tweet कर दिया है. So it's not a movie that I can say, मैंने बकवास बनाया. Actually, if you see, I don't know how to show you, there you see Broken Horses का वो लगा हुआ है ऊपर. So while I'm talking to you, I can see Broken Horses का clapboard. So it's a film that I own. It's just that I feel we went into it in a bit of a hurry because we thought abhi paise bana dalo. That what I learned from that is never go into a film in a hurry. Sit back, think, take your time, and then make a film.
Okay.
Not as long as we are taking on Munna Bhai 3, but still.
So in one of your interviews, you had said that you don't watch as many films nowadays, that's coming around. And, and I was reading about your past and as a kid, how you used to watch each and every film that came to the theaters and repeatedly watching Ram or Sham. Now you've gone to the phase where you probably don't watch as many films as you do. What's the change? I mean, is it that you sort of feel less impressed or less inspired by other works?
No, you absolutely. What a wonderful way to put it. I wish I knew English as well as you. It is exactly that. See, now what happens now, I'm seeing a film called Mank these days. And I just saw half of it. I'm dying to finish it today. It just got me. There are very few films. I saw Soul the other day and I was so impressed. I wish I could make one film like that before I die. So the point is, पहले क्या होता था ना, हमको सिनेमा का knowledge इतना कम था कि any film I saw, I would learn. I would imbibe like a sponge. Now there are not many films that I can say, wow, I'm learning from it. So it's like, that's why it's little less. It's little less. Pehle to I used to see 3 films a day, 2 films a day, 3 films a day. Now I see maybe one film over 2-3 days. Like I started Mank yesterday. I haven't finished it. I'll hopefully finish it tonight.
Okay.
It is that. It is that there is now for me less to learn in a way, I think.
Okay.
which could be a contradiction. Maybe I need to learn more, but I don't know. It doesn't grab me like I used to get grabbed by. Many films don't grab me now. They bore me actually.
Okay. Abhijat, what is the one big lesson that you learned from Vidhu Vinod Chopra in all your interactions with him? A lesson that you keep going back to and reminding yourself.
Yeah. So, that was first thing on the very first day that he met, said some very memorable lines. One of them was that no matter how worthy the film, it has to be entertaining. So for that, he used the sentence, make a film for Bertrand Russell, but for God's sake, don't bore him. So, and I recall that, the value of entertainment. The second thing that he said, which is the most crucial, he said that don't try to second guess what others are going to like. Make a movie that you would yourself like to see. Because then if that flops, there's at least one person in the world who likes that film. And that's yourself. Right. Whereas if you try to make for others, you already don't like it. And others, if they don't like it, then there's no one in the world who will like it. So, and I find that very, very valuable. So now when I write a film, I try to see whether I'll love to see that movie or not,
Right. Now to wrap up, Vinod Chopra ji, you've recited a couple of lines from Faiz in the book. I think there are 2 couplets in the book. Which one of them would you like to end this interview with and tell our viewers about? Something probably that you've lived your life.
See, both of them, the one that of course I ended the book with is Faiz thi raah sar basar manzil, hum jahan pahunche kamyab hai. Now the important thing about that thing is Faiz thi raah sar basar manzil, hum jahan pahunche kamyab hai. It's like I'm talking to you, Suresh. तो हम यहाँ भी कामयाब हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम बोर हो रहे हैं और हम कह रहे हैं यार कहाँ सुरेश के साथ फंस गए क्विंट में. बहुत मजा आ रहा है और अच्छी बातें हो रही हैं, बहुत मजा आ रहा है, चाय पी रहे हैं, बात कर रहे हैं. तो हम यहाँ भी कामयाब. ऐसा नहीं है कि अच्छा इससे बात करके जब क्विंट की सर्कुलेशन मिलियन हो जाएगी और हमको 2 मिलियन लाइक मिल जाएंगे तब हमको मजा आ जाएगा. अरे कोई पढ़े नहीं पढ़े यार, भाड़ में जाए, हमको तो बहुत मजा आया बात करके. तो हम तो यही कामयाब हो गए ना
जी.
अगर हम ये सोचेंगे कि कल को यार इसके कितने लोगों ने इसको हिट किया है, लाइक किया है, उस पर डिपेंड करेगा ये इंटरव्यू वर्थ था कि नहीं, तो क्या फायदा है. तब हम कामयाब नहीं है. हम जहां पहुंचे कामयाब आए कि जहां पर आप हैं वही आपकी मंजिल है. तो हमारा यही है, ये आधा घंटा आपके साथ जो हमने स्पेंड किया, बड़ा मजा आया. यही है लाइफ. प्रॉब्लम ये हो गई है कि आज के टाइम में ये इंस्टाग्राम लाइक डिसलाइक, फेसबुक, इस टाइम में क्या हो गया है कि हम लोग अपने आप को जज करते हैं बाय हाउ मेनी लाइक्स डिसलाइक्स वी हैव. अब तेरे आर्टिकल में 10,000 लाइक है तो 1 मिलियन लाइक है तो अरे कमाल का आर्टिकल है. 2 लाइक है तो यार अच्छा नहीं. जो हमारे अंदर का लाइक का बटन है वो क्या बोलता है
जी.
10,000 लोग बोलते हैं लाइक, हम बोलते हैं डिसलाइक, बकवास इंटरव्यू. तो दैट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट टू मी. मैं कह रहा हूं लाइक बड़ा अच्छा इंटरव्यू था, बाकी कहते हैं डिसलाइक. जाने दे यार, तेरे को डिसलाइक हो गया तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, मेरे को तो बहुत लाइक है. सो दिस इज द आइडिया ऑफ एक्चुअली राह सर बसर मंजिल. This is at least my interpretation of it. Maybe Faiz's interpretation was different, but this is how I see it. And for me, the most important thing when I do cinema, when I'm talking, as you know, I don't do too many interviews. I don't talk too much because finally it's bullshit. It's finally projecting yourself.
Right.
But if you're not enjoying doing that, then, I mean, the sole reason for this book to exist, and as you know, it was written 5-7 years back, is that it can, I'm already getting messages on my phone, it can inspire some people to believe that they don't have to do the crap they think they have to do to be successful.
Right.
That is the bottom line. If we can reach people, some people, and say, guys, you don't have to, I think that the book it's worth it.
I think that's a beautiful note to end the interview on.
Thank you
so much for spending so much time.
Thank you.
And all the best. Looking forward to the next Vidhu Vinod Chopra film also.
Absolutely, we are writing. He's writing. He's not saved, he's writing. He's locked in a hotel writing. Okay.